In this video, we are going to see about Right to Information Act 2005. This act came to give a transparency, to stop corruption, to make sure the country is democratic republic and the people have the freedom to speech. This is completely to see the process of the each and every public authority. Public authority here is the person who is been appointed through central government or state government, any NGO which is funded by the government. Plus we have other acts which was enacted by our parliament. They too cover under public authority. You can just see my ministry videos. I have given a lot of explanation in about a ministry. Moving on with the who can file the RTI. All citizen can file the RTI. Section 3 speaks about this. Then following that, what type of information you can get is like you can get any record, any document, any memo, emails or opinions. You can get advice, you can get any press release, circular, order, logbooks. It can be any electronic based form obtained like computer or a floppy disk, tapes. Even you can get microfilm, microfiche, manuscripts, any document which is available, everything will be available to you, so you can get this. And this is being explained in section 2 F, I, J. You can just read those. And following that, we have important definition 2N, which speaks about the third party. Third party means a person other than the citizen making a request for information, and it even includes a public authority. Following this, we'll go with the format of appeal which is being given in the rule 8, where you should have your name, address, appellant. Following that, what was your prayer, what is the ground, what was the reason they just gave by the first appeal procedure example. Everything, verification authority, everything will be checked, and everything has been given in the rule 8. Please do read those. And following that, what type of information you can just get, I have told you. Following that, in what mode you can just get, you can get through online mode or offline mode. Let me explain online mode advantage and disadvantage. In online, you can just get only central government based information. You can just use internet banking of SBI or debit credit card or RuPay, anything. The instruction has been given in the Central Information Commission portal. You can just go and see even the manual, how to use, how to appeal, how you can give your request, how you can register, how you can have the password, etc., and how you can view the status, appeal status, your judgment, order, etc., and can be seen in the online mode. But the disadvantage is like you can't get the information of state government based public authorities, and you can't get government of NCT Delhi. You can't get these type of information through online mode. The advantage of offline mode is like you can do in 5 steps. Let me explain you. Step 1, you should write a letter. Application based stuff should be written to public information officer who will be near your residence, or he can be in collector's office, a taluk office, revenue office. You can just see those address by just googling your state information commission or central information commission, where you can see the list of public information officers or appellate authority list. You can just see all the information commissioner address, email, their office address, then phone number, everything will be available there, including the name of the particular person will be given. This is what the real transparency is. So just go and just Google there. This is the first step. Second step is like you should write the proper question what you are seeking for. You should write the proper question. This is the very important step. Make sure if it is in written, make sure you have 500 words. If it is online, the instruction is something like it may to 10,000. They have given option. You just read those instruction. Following that, step 3, how you can post. You can just have a speed post based on your emergency or whatever, or you can just have a postal. The important thing you need to know is like mandatorily you should have a stamp of rupees 10. Pay through online mode. If it is offline, you should have a stamp of 10 rupees stamp. You can just get from the post office or near court or anywhere in the government based premises. Following that, you will get this information within 30 days. This is a very big speciality of this commission. If you are not getting the information within 30 days, if it is like they are giving another notification to you that the cost of your information seeking is additional amount. If they are intimating that, you just get the information, and they will, if you ask why, what was the reason, they will be explaining. Even they will explain the reason what was the additional amount. For example, if you are asking for A3 sheet or A2 sheet, a smaller size, it will be charged for 2 rupees, and if it is like floppy or disk, it will be charged for 50 rupees. If it is like your information is like inspection, something like that, then they for first 1 hour they won't be charging, but after that they will be charging 5 rupees for hour, or it may be for fraction. It depends on information will be given to you completely. So this may take maximum to 45 days. That's all. Within 30 days you will get, but it will not go more than 45 days. You should note this. If it is crossing that, you can just go for an appeal. So you can go for the first appeal. Then you can just, if you are not satisfied with that, you can just go for the second appeal. This is the fifth step. The very big speciality of this commission is like within 44 hours you can get information if it is like life threatening or any security based information. This speaks of this in the section 7 clause 1. So you can just see those in the act. Following that, they can mean like rejection will be made on the only one ground. For example, if it is like infringement copyright of any person other than that of the state, then this will be the ground for rejection of your request. So following that, if you have been asking the right question based on the state, or you're asking for the central government information, you're asking for the public authority, transparency, etc., but they are not giving the information due to some knowing purpose, or destroying the information, or misleading the information, giving incorrect or incomplete information, then you can just go for the commission, and you can they will be charged for each day they will be charged 250 rupees. It may be extend to 25,000, which may extend to 25,000 of fine. Plus they will be asking for a disciplinary action will be made, and the committee will be forming, and they will be asking why the reason was not given to you. They will be asking them. So don't worry about it. In the second appeal, you need to know that they will be asking you to come to the concerned information commission, and they will come with the public information commission, and you will be there. If there is an involvement of third party, even he will be coming for that. You can do in a video conferencing if you are not able to come, or you can just have another person for your help if needed. It is like flexible for each and every citizen to seek information. So this is the very best act. So following that, let us go into the hierarchy to make sure we have central government, state government. In central wise, we have headquarters in New Delhi. State wise, each and every state, 29 state information commission respect to the location what they have given. For example, in Tamil Nadu, in Chennai, we have in Thenambatam. Similarly, we have these type of state information commission in the respective state. You can just check on with the websites following that. Let me explain the hierarchy. To form a central information commission, there needs to be important person like president, ministry like Ministry of Personal Public Grievance and Pension will be there, where Department of Personal and Training will be the main department, where another person like Prime Minister will be the chairperson, like Lok Sabha leader of opposition will be one person will be there, plus Union Cabinet Minister he will be taken by the nomination of the Prime Minister. So this has been told in the section 12 of the Constitution, how the Constitution of the Central Information Commission. To more about the terms and condition, it will be prescribed in the official gazette by the central government. Following that, we have the rejection ground. For example, if the commission person is like misbehavior or unfit, or he is having a profit, or he is having MP, MLA, or having a posting of any other profession, or having a profit, on this ground he will be disqualified. This will be explained in 14th section. So 12, 13, 14, chapter 3 explains explains about the Central Information Commission. Moving on with the State Information Commission, chapter 4 speaks about the State Information Commission in section 15, 16, 17 about constitution, term and disqualification grounds. Following this, in state government, each and every state follows this type of oath and affirmation will be made by the governor. There will be a chairperson, chief minister of that concerned state, and there will be a leader of opposition in the legislative assembly, and there will be another person like cabinet minister nominated by the concerned chief minister. So this will be the model of State Information Commission constitution. This has been explained in the section 15. You can just read out. So following that, in 16, as I told you, same terms, office, allowance, everything will be explained in section 16, and following that in 17, grounds for disqualification will be explained in it. Let me tell what are the hierarchy for a senior officer will be like in central information commissioner will be not exceeding 10, central public information officer, central assistant public information officer. These was the members will be helping to give access to the public to get information in a speedy manner. A Central Information Commission as well as State Information Commission, both are binding in nature. Following that, in State Information Commission, we have State Chief Information Commissioner, State Information Commissioner, where the person will not be exceeding 10. Following that, there will be a State Public Information Officer, and there will be a State Assistant Public Information Officer. This is what the hierarchy is all about. Following that, these person, like commission person, will be very much experienced person in law, or they will be eminent person in a public life with wide knowledge of social service, management, journalism, administration, governance. And these person will be too particular. They will be a retired person. They may be, as I told you, for term, it may be based on the central government notification as per the 2019 notification of the RTI Act, or it can be of the age attaining 65 will be the maximum they will be attaining their retirement for the commission. But these commission person will be already retired person, where they will be a former IAS, IPS, or they will be a judge, retired judge or retired IAS, IPS officer. They will be the commission person. You may have a doubt whether they get two pay. Not at all. They will be getting one pay, but it will be equal to a secretary salary. Following that, we need to know very important section 18, which speaks about the powers and functions of the Information Commission, where this is very similar to the civil court power. They will be vesting the same powers as vested in the civil court. They will be giving summon, they can produce, they can maintain record, affidavit, they can discover, inspect, they will call for inquiry, they can appoint members, etc. and etc. will be made as the same as civil code. Following that, for your better understanding, with the appeal, section 19 speaks about the appeal. If you are giving for a public information officer, you will get the information within 30 days. If you are getting satisfied, okay, no problem. If you are not satisfied, within after the 30 days, you can just go for a first appeal. Following that, if you are not satisfied with that also, you from the date of the first appeal order, with reference to the first appeal order, you can just within 90 days you should go to the second appeal. The rejection may be based on the, if it is a infringement of any person, or if it is based on some if you are exceeding the time, and if time is exceeded, they may reject the stuff. Moving on with the important thing, overview of the act. The act has 31 section, total of 6 chapters, and you have schedule 1 speaking about the oath and affirmation of the commission, and schedule 2 speaks about the security, where information will not be given until it is about the larger public interest. It is for the larger interest, public interest. The commission may decide to give or not. It depends on the commission. Fine. Moving on with the chapter 1, it will be explained about the short title, the whole of India application, and following that definition will be explained in 2A to N, and following that in chapter 2, right to information obligation of public authorities, where section 3 to 11 will be explained in it, the ground, the designation, obligation, exemption, grounds for rejection, etc. for third party will be explained. Following that, chapter 3, as already told you, the Central Information Commission, where President, Prime Minister will be the important person. Following that, section 12, 13, 14 will be explaining about chapter 3. Following that, we have chapter 4, where State Information Commission has been explained. The point you should remember is like Governor, Chief Minister will be the main person. Following that, section 15, 16, 17 speaks about chapter 4. Moving on with the chapter 5, powers and functions of the Information Commission, appeal and penalties. Section 18, 19, 20 speaks about chapter 5. Chapter 6 explains about the miscellaneous, where section 21 to 31 is being covered in chapter 6. The important section is section 24, where act not to apply to certain organization. This is what explained in the schedule 2. You can just see schedule 1 and schedule 2. I have displayed that as well. Following that, we need to know about the evolution of the RTI Act 2005, because there were a lot of persons who were struggling to bring this act. So before independence, there was a movement like Mazdoor Kishan Shakti Sagaten, where village people were asking for a transparency in the minimum wages, where lot of people supported and many countries supported this movement. Following to there came a rise of national campaign on people's right to information. You can just go and Google this movement, you will know about lot. Following that, every movement will have some slogan, important slogan. Similarly, even this movement, they have a slogan, right? The right to know is the right to live. Fine. Based on this slogan, we had a judgment as well based on the Constitution of India 1950, Part 3, Fundamental Rights, speaking about the right to freedom, 19, 1, as well as Article 21. Where the Supreme Court judgment like state of UP versus Raj Narayan explains about this, and this favored the citizens. Okay, following this, we need to know about Article 21. If you are asking for a RTI, if it is like life threatening, it will be like within 48 hours you can get the information. This is a very speciality, as I told you earlier. Following that, even as a international covenant on civil and political rights gives the complete freedom to seek, receive, impart information or ideas of all kinds, following either orally or in written or print or any form of art or any other media of his choice, that is like citizen's choice. This speaks about the right to freedom expression. So Article 19 explains about this. As I told you earlier, we are one of the party among 173 parties. We are also one among United Nations General Assembly. So based on this resolution, based on this, we got a very important act. So to know about detailed information, the first state to enact RTI is Tamil Nadu. Following that, national wise, this act came into enactment or force by the assent of our former president APJ Abdul Kalam. Assent came 15 June and force it was like 12th October 2005 it came into existence. To move on with the UNESCO, to make more awareness about the information, this stuff, 28th September has been International Day for Universal Access to Information. This was made officially, they made a resolution 2015, they made official as recognized as 28th September as an International Day, and from 2016 this has been celebrated. So this is the main focus is based on the right to seek, receive, impart information that each and every human being has the right. So everybody should know about